guys, I just wanted to just say beware of the narcs, okay? There is heavy narcissistic energy. A lot of narcs are going to be trying to kind of attach themselves to a lot of people, because a lot of people are really reaching their destinies. A lot of people are really following their soul path. A lot of people are really going to be coming into a lot of abundance, okay? And narcissists, they are the types of people where they cannot accept defeat. Like, they think in a way where, like, I need to be better than you, I need to conquer you. It's all about winning. And so if somebody has lost you, or they've lost out on you, or they've lost out on your company, they're going to do anything that they can to either come back into your life or to try and destroy your life and what you've got going on. So make sure that you are protecting yourself energetically and physically in all the possible ways you can. It's one of the reasons why I always encourage people to let go of people, because a lot of people, they don't like to accept or admit that they're dealing with like narcissistic people. And narcissistic people, narcissism is actually a form of mild mental illness, and it's why it just doesn't work with narcissists. Like, narcissists have a hard time taking responsibility and accountability for their own behavior. They have a hard time apologizing, and they are unable to feel empathy. Narcissistic people, they can feel what's the word I'm looking for? They feel shame. They can feel shame, and they can feel embarrassment that can sometimes be misconstrued as remorse. But it's not actually, like, they don't actually feel bad for the things that they do to you. They just feel embarrassed because they were either caught out or they couldn't get away with what it is, okay? And, I read somewhere that with narcissists, right, you have to kind of train them to kind of be normal, because they're not normal. Like, narcissistic people, they have like a chemical imbalance within their brain, which is why, it's just like, it's kind of like, if you're with someone or you've got a friend or whatnot, and it's kind of like, it's like this person has multiple personalities, they're very arrogant, it's almost like they're a bit bipolar. Like, one minute they're like this, the next minute they're like that. When they're angry, they can get really angry. Like, for males in particular, they'll just end up smashing things and just attacking you or attacking things. Women, they just start shrieking and just acting crazy, and they can as well smash things and tear things up. Like, they don't have logic, they don't know how to process, like, they don't how can I put it? And a lot of narcissistic people actually have a lot of fire placements in their chart. Because when you're made up of predominantly fire and you have like no air in your chart, or if you're made up predominantly of like fire and water, that's all emotions, because fire represents passion, and like, you go based on how you feel, and then obviously the water is an emotion, so there's no logical thought. So a lot of narcissistic people, I'm not saying that all narcissists are like fire signs and water signs. Please don't get offended, people. I'm saying that a lot of narcissistic people have a lot of those elements within their chart, because they have a chart that's very imbalanced, in the sense that they've got predominantly heavy like fire placements or heavy water placements, but there's not anything, do you know what I mean? There's nothing to ground their energy, so they don't have the logic of the mind. They're incapable of thinking rationally. Okay, and yeah, like, you have to train them like dogs. Like, I was reading this one story about this woman who was in an abusive relationship with a narcissist, and he used to hit her, right? And she had a dog, and one time he hit her in front of the dog, and the dog went to bite him, and after that he never hit her again. Now, the only reason he stopped hitting her was because there was a consequence. Now, narcissistic people will not do something, or they will stop doing something to you when they know there's a consequence. But then, because they're so manipulative, they'll think of something else on another way in which they can control you, but they will stop. So this man didn't stop hitting this woman that he was with because he felt bad. He stopped hitting her because he thought, well, if I keep hitting her, that dog's gonna hurt me. Do you know what I mean? So narcissistic people are very selfish. Like, they think about everything is to do with themselves. They try to, like, they're very persuasive people, so they try to make you feel like everything they do, like, if they do something kind for you, for example, you'll think, oh my god, this person's just being kind, they're just gifting me things, they're just loving me, they're just doing this. But no, they're doing it because they want to get what they want, and they know that the only reason that how they can get what they want is if they give you what you want. Okay, 444, as I said that. Okay, so just be aware of narcissistic people, whether it's friends, whether it's partners, even if it's your family members. Like, you know, your mum could be very narcissistic, your dad, you know, you just need to ice these people out, especially if it's a lover, because when it's a lover, you know, that's mixed with like emotion, in the sense that, especially if you've had like sexual intercourse with a person, you've created a bond with that person, and it can really send a narcissistic person over the edge. Okay, and they can become very, very possessive. They are dangerous people. Okay, they have got chemical imbalances within their brains, and you know, some people can have narcissistic tendencies. That doesn't mean that you're a narc. You know, you've got narcissists and you've got people who've got tendencies. Okay, the full narcs, those are sociopaths. Okay, and the only difference between a sociopath and a psychopath is that a sociopath knows what they're doing is wrong, but they do it anyway. A psychopath thinks that evil is right. You know, they think that doing evil things is okay. It's kind of like a cannibal. A cannibal will just sit there and slice up someone and eat it and cook it like it's nothing. You know, they don't see anything wrong with it. They're just like, well, why would I not eat humans? Why would I not do this? Like, do you know what I mean? But narcissistic people, they know that they're doing the wrong thing, but they just they lack empathy, so they don't care. So they only stop doing something. It's kind of like, say someone puts their hands on you and then you call the police on them, and then you let them back into your life, for example, and then they try to go at you again, but then they stop themselves and they're like, oh, I can't even be how I want to be. It's because they know that you're going to call the police and there's a consequence for their behavior. So narcissistic people seek out people that they can easily manipulate. Narcissistic people think that they're the smartest person in the room when really they're not, because in my opinion, if you're so smart, why do you have to play on people that are weak-minded or dumb? That doesn't make you that smart then, does it? You know, a smart person or a master manipulator would be able to outsmart someone who is already smart. Okay, so narcissistic people, they study people and they really try to find ways to kind of get their claws onto certain people. That's why they're very abusive. They like power. It's all about power and control. Okay, and narcissistic people tend to have people around them or family members that they've grown up with, whether it's like older brothers, whether it's their dad or their mother, that's also been narcissistic towards them, and it's kind of like they embody the characteristics. Some of them can suffer from is it PTSD? You know, like when people who go to war and things like that, and they kind of get flashbacks and all of that. Like a lot of people, I do feel like narcissism can be developed due to kind of like traumatic times within your childhood, and it kind of just embodies you and makes you into like this crazy person. But you know, the best way to deal with narcs is to just don't deal with them at all. Okay, because they will either realize their own behavior and try to seek help, or they will grow up to be very miserable and bitter people that will end up being alone for the rest of their lives. Okay, and always having to either kind of pay for pussy, or they'll turn into crackheads, or they'll just be miserable, you know, and no one will want to be around them. They'll never be able to have a real connection unless it's with somebody that's low class and low life like themselves, or like their own mindset, because they can only function around people who are lower minded than they are, because they have a hard time being around smart people, because it makes them feel very insecure. Like narcissistic people tend to be very insecure but very arrogant, and arrogance to me, in my opinion, arrogance breeds insecurity, breeds arrogance. Because when you're arrogant, you have to prove, oh yeah, I'm this, oh this is what a man does, this is what a woman does, oh I can do this and I can do that, me. Because you must be lacking something. Because you know, when you can do a lot of things, you don't need to kind of like keep talking about it. People just see it, they just know it. You know, you don't have to keep trying to prove to people that you can do things. You don't need to be persuasive and manipulative. When someone manipulates a person to kind of be around them or to be in their life, it just goes to show that you're not that much of a cool person yourself, that there must be nothing to you if you have to manipulate and lie to get into somebody's mind, to be someone's friend, or to get into someone's pants. And I feel like one of the saddest things in the world is when people lie for vagina and willy. I think that's so sad. I feel like if you have to pretend to be something you're not to sleep with somebody, what does that say about you? Like that's one of the saddest things. And it's so common. A lot of people do it. And I just think it's sad. Like, do you not sit there and think, wow, like I really had to make up a story just to get someone to sleep with me today? Like, that's just crazy. But yeah, just stay away from the narcs, because there's a lot of heavy energy of like possessive, controlling, and psycho people. There's people that you could have separated yourself from. It could have been friends that have been envious of you and they're jealous, and they're just watching you in complete and utter envy and just pure, like, I'm just hearing spite. Like, some of these people are gonna be or trying to do spiteful things to get back on you just because you value your peace. Is you haven't done nothing wrong to these people. You value your peace, and they cannot stand that you have moved on and that you're doing things and you're okay without them. They can't stand that they're a piece of shit and you're not. That's all it is. They just can't stand that you does shit and they're a piece of shit. So you keep shining and you keep protecting yourself, okay, from these energies, because yeah, especially with this Mercury retrograde, there's going to be a lot of people back from the past trying to get involved. It's a no. You know, if you know that somebody is toxic, they're toxic, leave them alone. Toxic people are not mentally stable. Do you understand me? This is why they don't change. Crazy people don't know that they're crazy. It's just facts. A person who's mentally unstable doesn't think, they don't know that they're mentally unstable. They don't know, like, well, 5 people keep saying that you're crazy. Do you not sit down and think one day, well, do you know what? Maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I need to evaluate my own behavior. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And like I said, sociopaths know what they're doing is wrong. So some of these narcissistic people, they're very aware that they're dickheads. They just don't give a fuck. So, you know, it's either you're dealing with someone who's crazy and they don't know it, or they know that they're crazy and they don't care. They're just ruthless. And, you know, if you're a loving and caring person, that's not the type of energy that you need to be around, okay? And these people are very vengeful, and they can be very spiteful when they don't get what they want, which is another indication of someone who doesn't operate from love, okay? And spite produces the worst karma. So don't worry about these people that are trying to do things to you, okay? They're going to fall on their own sword, okay? They're going to end up with a very miserable life or a series of very unfortunate events. Okay, and that is not for you to worry about. But let me just say this: protect yourself from these energies, okay? Protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself, okay? And for the narcs, you know, check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? But I'm not a poet, and I'm not a rapper. I'm so silly, you know. I know, sorry guys, I just had to put a bit of banter at the end. But yeah, so that was an energetic message, 12 as I said that. For others of you, I was trying to do the rest of the love signs today, but there was a lot going on. Mercury retrograde. I literally just done Scorpio's reading and it cut off like halfway through, and then my phone kept saying it's got memory, but there's like nothing in the phone. So full memory, sorry. So, you know, yeah, it's just the divine's way of saying I just need to stop for today, okay? And, you know, we will resume. And for those that keep like asking about, oh, can you do this reading, can you do that reading, I'm afraid no. Sorry, but I do things in order. I've been doing it that way since I started my channel. It always starts with Libra and it ends with Virgo. The only time I do random signs is when it's a bonus reading, and the only reason I do that is because they show the most support. So it's kind of like my way of saying thank you, and they get to choose what choice of reading they want if they pay attention to the community tab. And the random readings I do is like this, when I just have intuitive messages, or if I do readings with the cards, it just based on the energy for the collective or what the divine wants me to let the collective know. But those are not scheduled. But for anyone who's wondering about the schedule of the channel, just scroll through the channel and you'll see. It's or look at my community tab. I literally laid everything out. It's my Babe Beauty or BS series. In that you'll see how someone feels about you, how they're viewing you, what they want to say to you that they're not currently saying, and that's for elements, okay? Then it's the love readings for all zodiac signs, again starting from Libra, ending in Virgo. Then it's the general readings, all zodiac signs, starting from Libra and ending in Virgo. And it will always be like that unless one day I'm like, I just want to start with a different sign. And if I do that, I will be alerting everyone and I'll be saying, oh, who wants a reading? But other than that, it's structured. Like, that's how I am. I'm just a very structured person. Again, the only readings that are random is when it's something for the collective. But, you know, in terms of everything else, that's the layout. Babe Beauty and BS, love readings, general readings, okay? So, if you're waiting for a sign and you kind of want to inkling of when your sign's going to come, just scroll through the channel and see the order, or look at the community tab and you'll know. So, for example, if you're a Leo, divine's in the house. if you're a Leo, for example, and you're waiting for a Leo reading, you know, Leo is near the end because Virgo is the last, and before Virgo is Leo. So you're going to be waiting through, do you know what I mean? Like 10 zodiac signs before it gets to yours. So that's just how it is, guys. I just do things in order. I can't just randomly do zodiac signs. Like, that would just, no, I need to have some sort of like balance and equilibrium when it comes to, you know. But yeah, so anyway, that is it, and that is all. Stay away from the narcs and look after yourselves. Toodles!